School district spending millions of dollars to ensure classrooms are cool. Tonight, the school board approving emergency funding for air conditioning systems at 5 different schools. Kim Passoth has the details.
5 schools across the district getting millions of dollars for emergency air conditioning systems and repair work. At Beckley Elementary, $8.8 million was needed for emergency roof and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. A contractor hired on April 28th to do the work. Nearly 100 work orders were submitted during the school year, with approximately 25% reporting complete loss of heating or cooling. The failures left classrooms and offices with high temperatures, poor air quality, and unsafe conditions. Roof failures compounding the issue. Leaks allowing water into occupied areas, creating slip hazards, exposing electrical systems to moisture, and increasing the risk of a ceiling collapse. A report saying, quote, operations are being disrupted and students and staff are at risk. Under state law, emergency contracts can be awarded if an emergency exists affecting the public health, safety, or welfare. Emergency contracts also approved for Gerheim Elementary, with more than 40 work orders submitted, approximately half reporting complete loss of heating or cooling. A full system replacement cost $7.4 million. Hayes Elementary and Kesterson Elementary, with similar reports, getting $7.4 million and $7.3 million, respectively. And Southwest Career and Technical Academy needed emergency work as the underground hydronic pipe burst. That resulted in a loss of cooling capacity throughout the campus. Cost of that repair, more than $400,000. At CCSD's Thursday night's board meeting, the trustees unanimously voting to update their criteria for evaluating facilities.
Item 1, paragraph A, you see the increased weight for critical systems or vital systems that have the potential to interrupt instruction. So that gives a greater importance to HVAC systems, roofing, plumbing systems, electrical systems, and exterior envelope systems.
That was Kim Passoth reporting. Summer school is in session until July 10th. The first day of the 2026-27 school year begins on Monday, August 10th. This year there will be new start times for school across the district. We've got more info on that on our website, fox5vegas.com.